Welcome to our 5th episode. Today's episode will discuss what a hostile work environment is. Let me start by telling you what a hostile work environment is not. Hostile work environment is not an environment caused by having a jerk for a boss or even a boss that is mean to you. It doesn't even refer to an environment that is violent. Although if you are physically assaulted at work, you may have other remedies unrelated to the theory of hostile environment. Hostile work environment is a type of discriminatory harassment. It is a discrimination claim and must be based on a protected class in order to be actionable. Protected classes include race, color, religion, sex, age, national origin, and genetic information. If your boss or coworkers incessantly make fun of you for having a unibrow, that does not constitute a hostile work environment. Even if they made your workday absolutely intolerable with constant jokes about your unibrow, it still wouldn't constitute a hostile work environment because people with unibrows are not a protected class. However, if the unibrow jokes were part of harassment due to your ethnic background, for example, your boss and your coworkers made jokes that your particular ethnic group was predisposed to having unibrows, then you might have a claim for hostile environment. Even then, one racist unibrow joke likely won't constitute a hostile environment. For an isolated incident to constitute a hostile environment, it must be extremely serious. A single joke likely won't cut it. I can think of maybe a joke that was made publicly that undermined the authority of an employee that was a supervisor and they were no longer able to do their job. That might qualify, but it's really hard for an isolated incident to constitute a hostile environment. A hostile environment requires discriminatory intimidation, ridicule, and insult that is sufficiently severe or pervasive as to alter the conditions of the victim's employment and create an abusive working environment. That's the legal definition. What does that mean in regular English? In short, it means that the harassment has to be A, because of your protected class, and B, be frequent or severe enough to have an effect on your employment. One thing that I would like to point out is that the discrimination doesn't have to be directed towards the employee in order for a hostile environment to exist. If the employer discriminates against customers of the same protected class as the employee, that may be enough to meet the requirement of intimidation, ridicule, or insult that is sufficiently severe or pervasive as to alter the conditions of the victim's employment. For example, I am Hispanic. If I was an employee at a business and that business charged Hispanics more than other ethnic groups, then I might have a claim for hostile environment. Now, let's talk about hostile environment based on sex. I've saved it for last, but it's actually the most common type. A classic example of a hostile environment based on sex would be a male supervisor who regularly discusses his sexual activities or makes unwanted comments on the physical qualities of his female employees. If you've seen the show Mad Men, the female employees surely had a claim for hostile environment against Sterling Cooper. That show had countless examples, but the one that comes to mind is that in episode 1, Pete Campbell tells Peggy to show more of her legs. Now that you know what does and does not constitute a hostile environment, it's also important that you know that you don't have to tolerate it. If you are experiencing a hostile environment, you should contact an attorney immediately so they can advise you on the appropriate steps. If your employer doesn't remedy the situation, they may be liable for damages. Now, since our last episode, we've hit a milestone. We finally hit 100 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. If you are enjoying our channel and would like to show some support and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button below. We always appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you another video next week.